All right. Well, it is noon, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys that have joined. We will probably be getting a bunch more people joining here shortly, so I'm gonna do some introductions and then we'll get started. Just from a general housekeeping, we do have about 30 minutes, and I'm not entirely sure my webinar needs to take quite that entire time. So if you do have some questions for me, put them in the chat, and then when I get through the couple of slides, and then we're going to be doing a couple of demos. We can address those, and I can stay after if needed. And then I will give my email at the end for any questions or follow-ups or anything like that. So, but I appreciate each of you for showing up. These webinars, we do them every 2 weeks, and a lot of the same people like to show up and learn how to use SoterAI. Well, we have a very big release that the team has been working on for quite some time, and we're really excited because we're just beginning that launch of this product. And we call it Records internally, but for most people, it is a safety platform. It is how to track, how to create, how to manage incidents, hazards, near misses, like all of the things that you have to record to be compliant, but also to be safe. And we've been working on this project for quite some time because we were looking at how traditional safety platforms were doing it. And we're like, there's a way better way to do that. And so we had a couple of principles in mind about how can we be minimalist and not in a simplest or simplistic format, but many platforms that are out there, you pay for 100% of the features, but only use like 20 or 30% of all of the features that they have to offer. And it's like sometimes those things have too many features. And what we believe is it's not about more features or more, products being added. It's about, efficiency and how do we build a safety platform that anybody can use with no training required, and so that anybody can record what your safety program needs to record. And so I'm going to go through a couple of things today. But really, the big highlight that I wanted to start with was how do you make an AI native safety platform? What does that even mean? What does that look like? And so I have our, records. Like if you've been in Soter, you've seen our chat before. You've never seen this form over here on the right hand side. And on mobile device, you'd have this split screen as well. But to be able to fill out a record through AI, I'm going to upload a photo and just kind of show you what I mean by AI native. I uploaded that image, gave it a little bit of instruction, and what the agent is going to do is automatically transpose that photo and that text into that form. So it's going to auto-complete it, which is by itself, okay, cool. That's going to make it a lot more efficient. That's going to make our intake and the quality of data that gets into the system probably a little bit better. But this can be voice, it can be videos where the agent strips that data from whatever file you've given it and then automatically transcribes it into your form. So now you've got a really high quality form that has just been filled out on the fly. So instead of having to click through buttons, click through templates, it can be as simple as either you talk to it. We have this voice mode down here where I could have just, said the description of the incident or the hazard that I witnessed, and it would automatically fill that out for me so that it just gets that efficient, what I was talking about with the efficiency. It gets that data into the platform very, very quickly. You can go ahead and it already has the photo, it has all those files attached already, and you can go in and make changes if you want. But then it's ready to go. And on this is a simple example. There's 7 or 8 fields, but we have built out a template that I hope to show you guys at the end, which was 33 sections deep, like this massive long, record. And the AI automatically transpose. So it would take an intake process that would take, minutes to seconds. And so it allows for that. So I'm gonna get in here in just a second and go over to my other tab if I can move this. Okay, let's go there. All right. So I made this comment earlier. If you have any one of the major safety platforms, you're likely paying for 80% of the features you never touch. And that was some of the recurring things that we heard was there are so many features in Benchmark. There's so many features in Velocity and Quarry and some of these other platforms. Or if you don't have any safety platform at all, it lives in Excel spreadsheets or it lives in some of these other things. So it, most of our customers and most of the people we talk to live on two ends of the spectrum, either very minimalist, spreadsheet, based program, or they have these large platforms that are doing so much that they're paying so much for, but only using a small portion. And what we wanted to do was build a easy safety platform builder so you can build the platform you want for your organization. You don't have to take any of the extra stuff with it. So why now? Um, what we heard from our customers was that safety software was outdated. I've seen through some of the interfaces of some of these platforms and old archaic looks. It's very difficult to navigate unless you have been trained and you're a power user and you know how to use it. But the for new users or new safety managers that have never been on it, it takes a long time to figure out how to use these platforms and actually get the value out of it. And so, yes, they're very powerful, but they almost are too complex, which is that third point. And then they're also very expensive. A lot of these platforms, if you think about it from a technical perspective, are just tables and databases that are recording information for you. While that's very important and you have to have it, should it cost, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for a rollout? We don't think so. And then also, they're not AI native, so you don't have an agent that can take actions for you on your behalf by uploading information to it and allowing it to do it. So that makes that easy to use component, very, very, very nice. And so, with the old way versus the new way, you know, what we saw and what we analyzed when we were building this was that the old way, these massive, very expensive suites that most people were buying because they're like, well, there's no better option. This is what we have in the market. This is the options that we get. So we're going to take it and we're going to try to make it work. And a lot of the struggles were onboarding and then, actually getting people trained on those platforms. And what we believe this new way is, this minimalist canvas where you can build your safety platform in your program from the ground up very easily. So you can, create any records that you want to create. You can, you can track anything. And last webinar, Matt, our CEO, had an example of tracking cups of coffee. Like why that would matter, it wouldn't, but it shows the flexibility that you can track anything that you want to track, and the agent can help you do that. So SoterAI can help you get that data in, get high quality data, challenge you to make sure you have all of the information, and then begin to store it, and then you can run reports on that data. So that's what we believe the new system, or the new way for people that want a better safety platform is a 100% flexible system, but not difficult to create, and eliminating a lot of the friction so that anybody in your organization can track and get in there and be part of a safety first culture where they can report things, they can get high quality data in there, so you as the safety managers or risk managers can properly address it. So I've mentioned this earlier. We're focused on efficiency. That means less friction. We do not want to add just more features and more, oh, we're going to add a new dashboard analytic. Though those are very important. Many times we were seeing like some of these interfaces were incredibly cluttered, and it's like, how do you even know? Like this looks like a stock trading platform. How do you even get data out of this? And we wanted people to have almost a fresh start. While taking the data from their existing systems and getting it in, you want to clean up that interface so that it can be valuable and bring more people into the platform without it having to go through many trainings, which is what many people are reporting. Um, so yeah, with that being said, I want to get into a quick little demo of how to actually create a record system or your safety management system within our platform. And right now you may be like, where is this? I'm in SoterAI right now. I do not see records. It's a little hidden. But at the very end, I'll explain that we're looking for some beta customers to begin rolling out that system where we'll help you easily migrate all of your data. We'll help you get this set up so you can begin using SoterAI as your safety platform. So I want to get into the actual building of it because that's why we're all here. We want to see like how does it work? Will this fit my use case? If not, then we'll go back to the old way. But if the new way seems easier, seems better, then this might be the transition that your organization needs. So what we have here is records management. When we say records, we mean any type of thing that you might want to record. So I had started a hazard report, but it could be incidents, near misses, JSAs, safety observation, equipment inspections. Like we have all of these templates that whenever you're like, yep, we record that or we need to record that, you can quickly just, click use now and then it would start. So like right from there, you see, okay, these are the different form fields that it collects. You can add new ones, and we'll go through that in a second. So you can create however you want. You can create custom ones, or you can use our pre-existing templates. But this could become a safety platform that you start from scratch, and you're like, okay, we're going to track these things. We're going to add a couple of things there as well. And so, and then down here we have our custom builder. So you can build anything from scratch. So let's say the hazard report template, you're like, we do it slightly different, or we have an OSHA 300 log that we would love to standardize and just get in your platform. You can build it down here in the custom builder, and I'll get into how that actually works. But you can kind of wrap your mind around. It doesn't matter what you want to track. It just matters that you know what you want to track. And once you've defined that, anything can be built within records, and that's the real power here. And just as some foreshadowing, SoterAI was a standalone platform. The AI experience where you're doing workflows like ergonomic analysis or hazard ID or policy review. And if you're in the platform, you know what I'm talking about. To connect those into your safety platforms it was difficult. You'd have to like kind of take that information and export it or copy and paste it, and there was some friction there. And what we wanted to do was build that AI native integration where you can easily get the findings from SoterAI directly into something that is recordable, that is a system or a record or a system of truth, so that you can begin, having real data stored as opposed to what it has been in the past, which is stored in chats where you'd have to go back and look for that previous workflow or that chat that you did. Now we want to move people into the direction of, okay, how can we take those really, really advanced AI analysis and convert it into something that is recordable, that is audible, that is traceable, so that you can come back to it and assign actions so that you can send it to somebody and you can give them what they need to do to clean up the mess on aisle 3. Like all of those things need to be integrated together, and that's what we're moving, is going from, yes, we're a AI agentic platform, but then this record of truth, or this system of record, where you can begin recording these incidents, these hazards, all of that stuff as well. So the next point that I wanted to make is, many of you on here you're like, okay, this is great, but I don't want to start from scratch. I've got all of my historical information, and all of this data goes back 50 years or 100 years or 5 years, whatever it is. How do I get that data in here so I'm not starting from just square one or from scratch? And I'll show you how we do that. But let's say you have a bunch of hazard reports, and you are like, okay, we've got 1,000 of these hazard reports that are just sitting in our platform right now. We want to make the shift. How do we do that? How could we get that data out and in to SoterAI? And we have this extremely simple upload. So I'm going to just show this to you real fast. And this is just a quick 50 records that are hazard reports. And it is just a Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file where it is then going to map all of your data to the columns of these reports. So you kind of go through and you see, okay, they're 50. All right, great. Here's all the locations because everything is tied to a location. So it's going to pull up from your data where all this occurred and create those sites within SoterAI. And then boom, you've got 50 now. There were two in there before, and now you got 52 brand new hazards. Okay, great. We did it with 50. Now let's do it with 500. And how do we get 500, to map? So all of those things are all already mapped. The AI does that. And then boom, we add confirm and import. Now we have 500. So you can see how simple migrating historical records into this can be. With obviously, I know how to use the system, but really, it's 3 clicks, and your data's in. And so that ease of use, that frictionless migration to begin now, these records will begin to inform SoterAI. So now, if you have, there are probably treasure troves of gold nuggets in these records. SoterAI can now have context about what has actually happened, what has occurred, what has been recorded, what is the reality on the ground. It now will be able to go into those records and be able to reason for you. So now your safety system has an AI layer. And once you get all that data in, you'd be able to ask questions, perform simulations, add to it, begin to start tracking, things on day one. And the AI will learn, okay, these are the trends that are going on. And what we're working on right now is a really amazing dashboard suite for analytics. So you can control and track and manage what you want to, not just in some of these systems that we were evaluating. It's like you get your tiles, you get your, number of records, number of this, number of this, number of this, and you got 4 things that you got to look at. What we're building is the ability for you to say, all right, SoterAI, I want to track, how many fire hazards we have in this facility. Like you could get really granular and be able to track all this stuff in real time and then have that graphic displayed there for you as well. So there's a lot of things that we're building into this system so that it's as flexible for you, so that you're not like, I've got to send in a support request to my provider to get this dashboard from Power BI and all this. Like you can just do it. Your system, your agent has access to all that data. Build that analytics so you can track and manage that accordingly. So that's really like the quick hitter, like how I wanted to showcase really fast. I'm going to get into some of the details here in a second, but I want to go back to my presentation. But really the builder, the effortlessly creating these forms, it's as simple as just knowing what your template is. So for example, if you have a OSHA 300 log, you know what you got to track. It's like, we got to track this, and this. That custom form builder that I mentioned down here at the bottom, where it says start custom, you could do OSHA 300 log and then begin adding the field. So I'm not entirely sure what that first one would be, but it could be a piece of text. It could be, a long text. It could be numbers, dates, multiple drop downs, location. You can upload files, checkboxes. It can be anything that you want, and you begin to just build that custom template. And once that's created, that agent knows this is the template that this form needs to have filled out every time. So any data that I get goes through that lens, not whatever it wants. It goes through your lens, so that your safety platform and the agent responds to that form, which I think is very important. And then the other thing is this AI data capture. This has been present in many platforms where you can do voice to text, or you can capture information very easily. What we wanted to do was this smart capture mode where no matter if it's video, if it's photos, if it's your voice, you could type it or you can tap. We wanted every possible modality so that when you're live, you're on the scene right then and there, and you've got your phone, you can quickly, take a video or take a photo of the situation, or you can record your voice, and it will automatically transcribe into your record. So you don't have to worry about typing it all in right then and there. You just start talking through the scenario, or you record through the scenario. And then at the very end, and I didn't show this in the demo, but assigning actions to the people that you need to make sure that they actually fix the problem, not just recording it, but fix the problem. Tagging them if they're in your workspace, you can tag them easily and they'll get a notification that, hey, you've got an action you got to complete. Or if they're not in your workspace, you send them an email, and it would let them know. And so all of those things allow for you to quickly build a safety platform that begins making real change and reducing the risk, but it's powered by AI. And this slide just is essentially the same thing. How the AI agent is very powerful, and we're trying to use it in a way that makes your lives easier. So from a data capture standpoint, I've kind of hit that note, but then secondarily, the AI agent knows your form and knows high quality data that should be in that form. So these agents are trained on, okay, I've got a hazard report and they're just giving me basic information, or let's say it's a JSA. The agent is going to push and push until you give it high quality data. So if, like, let's say you give it just yes, no answers or one word answers, and it's like, we can do better than this, it might ask you some clarifying questions and in simple English. So it's not going to be, complex or anything for anybody, but it'd just say, hey, can you expand the description of what happened? All I got was the forklift, hit another forklift, right? Expand on that, because it knows bad data in equals bad data out, and it's not going to be incredibly valuable later on. So it's going to make sure that each of your inputs are matching to high quality data sets that it's been trained on. So that's really the second purpose of having an AI agent within your safety system. Is it might challenge you to get better data in than just the bare minimum. Because that was the other thing, is most people are just completing forms or just tapping through it as quickly, just get it done. And it's for speed, but then you're losing some data. So what we wanted to do was both. We wanted to fix the speed problem by the AI data capture, but then also the high quality data, the agent should challenge you and push back or ask clarifying questions to get even better data back into the system. And I already went through this point. So as you can tell, I went out of order, but the migration, making it very simple as just, clicking the input or import button and then simply getting your historical data into the platform. Yeah, as I mentioned, the beta program that we are starting right now is going to give some exclusive benefits. So we have a couple of partners that are already testing this out. They're doing trainings with their entire staffs so that everyone can be caught up to speed. But there's really going to be a white glove migration support. So like holding your hand, at this stage, because we want to really learn how we can make it better, especially me as the head of product. Like, we think we've made something really special, but then at the end of the day, if we can make it even better, we really want to partner with you and your team as you build it, as you begin to use it, so that it can be even better. And so that's why part of this beta program is a partnership, is really like, okay, we're going to give you guys some benefits of getting in. We're going to help you with the migration. We're going to help you set it up. But then also, we want to learn from you and see if we can make it even better on the back end. So that is all of the benefits, and I'll give you guys a little bit of time at the very end. I've got a QR code where you can just quickly scan that, and it'll pull up my email, or you can record it there. If you want to be a beta customer, or you want to know more, feel free to scan that or email me and just be like, hey, was at the webinar, really appreciate it, was interested to see if the records in SoterAI can do this, or can we get some more information. We can send you a one pager and kind of a product pamphlet about what it is and how it could benefit you. So yeah, with that being said, I want to open it up for some questions. I'm going to stop sharing there. If there are any questions, great. If there's not, then we can stop early. But yeah, what we plan to do over the next couple of weeks is go really deep on each of these records and how to use the platform. But also, we've got some other things with just the regular SoterAI platform that are being released soon as well. So these bi-weekly webinars are really meant to to really fortify how to use the platform, but also to notify you when some new things are coming online. So we're really excited about that. I'm not seeing any questions coming in. I'll give it a couple extra moments. Let me actually go back and share my email so that you guys can see this. And feel free to scan that QR code if necessary, if you want to know some more information. And you can just send me that email. That'd be great. Oh, looks like we got a question here, Q&A. I have spreadsheets of training completed, but I also have the hard copy signed by employees. Can that be added as well? Yeah. Yeah. Anything that is in that type of copy can be easily, transferred over. You can record, employee training very easily. We have a template for that, or we can create it, custom for what you already are recording. So if there's multiple data points or anything like that, but yeah, that can be easily migrated. Very simple, actually. We have an entire, customer success team that will walk you through, especially in this beta program, how to use all that. Because, we know how to use it internally at Soter as power users, but so many people when they get in, they're like, okay, it's that cold start problem. How do you get, just ramped up? And we try to make that as easy as possible for you. Anybody else? I did want to say, like, the going live date for public customers is going to be the second week of February. I believe it's February 8th. I don't quote me on that day. I think it's 7th or the 8th of February, where this will be, something that is live for everyone. But for the next, couple of weeks here, there is some early benefits to signing up and saying like, hey, I'm interested in getting into records and just seeing how SoterAI can help. And if you're not a SoterAI customer, if you made it here because through our emails, like maybe that's a broader conversation about what you're trying to do within your safety platform as well. So feel free to email me with that as well. All right. Give it a couple more minutes. Any other questions, you can throw them into the Q&A section. 3-year forklift certifications are random. They do not all happen at one time. Is there any notification alerts that would let me or my next safety know it's time? Yeah, so what we're working on is a notification alert system throughout the entire platform. So we call them ambient agents. And so that what you're specifically asking for is something that is on our roadmap. Actually, we just had a product meeting earlier this morning about that. So we're looking at the priority order and getting that built. So yeah, you'll be able to have an agent on the back end timed or have a set schedule so that it'll notify you when, hey, we got to get this done, and it will notify you. So yeah, that's a really powerful use case. We've had that for a couple of things, not only just like notifying when things need to get done or maintenance schedules or anything like that, but also ambient agents doing work on the back end. So anytime this is a simple thing, but like anytime a weather update that could impact your area, like the agent is automatically, sending you that information. So you don't have to be on top of 15 different things. It can be set to go and get that information from the web or, wherever it needs to and notify you and update you. So we're really excited. That's one of the big projects that we're discussing internally is how to build these ambient agents that work on the back end for you and act as a alert system for stuff like this, for training, for certification, for maintenance schedules, for any of that. So we think that there's so many things that you guys are, having to keep track of in your head. And we're like, maybe if we can distribute that to an agent and it just runs on a set schedule every time, take a little pressure off your day. So, all right. I think we are good. Well, thank you guys. I do appreciate, like I said, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, send me an email, tell me how you like the webinar, what we can do to make it better or more interactive for you guys. And we look forward to hearing from you. And like I said, if you want to be a beta customer, just go ahead and message me and we'll get a training set up for you as quickly as possible. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.